Alright, in this lesson we are gonna learn how to import and use code from another place in Remix. In this case, we are gonna import files from the OpenZeppelin library. And we're gonna see that actually importing functionality is as simple as saying import and then we simply paste that part. Okay? So if you notice when I said import and I pass the URL, that ends being a file in GitHub because it has the extension .sol. The Remix environment is actually bringing the whole structure, and in fact we are getting access to this particular file, which is a library called enumerable set. Okay, let's start by creating a contract and let's call it imports. And what we are gonna do here is we are gonna make use of this library called enumerable set. And the way we use libraries in Solidity is simply saying using enumerable set, which is the name of the library, for, and here we are gonna refer to a structure within the enumerable set library that is called address set. Okay, dot address set. Alright, by using this library we are essentially extending the address set type, and it's gonna allow us to access the functionality specified in this library. So we are already telling to Solidity that we are extending this enumerable set dot address set type with this library. Now let's use it by simply doing a declaration of, let's say, a variable called visitors. Okay, and what we are going to do here is we are going to create two functions. The first one is register visitor. Let's say it's going to be external, and what we are going to do is we simply are going to say visitors at msg.sender. Okay, and that's it. So what we are doing here is essentially, if you notice, visitors is a variable of type enumerable set dot address set. So this is a variable and this is the type. But now we have access to the add function. This is because this using is extending this type, and now when we look at this library we now have access to the functions like, let's see, and now we have access to, in this case, add, remove, contains, and len. Also add values and so on. Okay, this is because this library is extending this particular data type. Alright, so it's currently working. So the expectation is that if a party comes and calls register visitor, we are essentially adding visitors to this address set. Let's include another function to verify, let's say, number of visitors. Let's just make it external view and returns. Let's see a uint, and then if you remember, here we have access to len, that is a function, so we can call it. Here we can say return visitors dot len. Okay, and that should be working. Alright, then let's test, and what we are gonna do here, let's deploy, and now let's register a visitor. then we call number of visitors and it's 1, and let's try to register again, and we still get 1 visitor. This is because a set implies that there cannot be duplicated values within this collection. In this case, we cannot have duplicated addresses. And if we check the logic of the library, we are gonna see, here we call add, and here is the implementation. We are gonna see that if the value exists, if the value doesn't exist, we are pushing it. Otherwise, we don't do anything. And that's why it's not adding duplicate values. Alright? We can, let's say, change account, register, and now we have 2.